And now from McAllen City Hall, a meeting of the McAllen City Commission.
And good evening. Welcome to tonight's City Commission meeting. We'll begin with Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation by Commissioner Sebi Haddad. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You bow your heads. As we gather for this meeting, we seek your guidance and wisdom. Bless our city leaders with clarity of mind and compassionate hearts as we deliberate and decide on matters that affect our community. Grant us insight to prioritize the well-being of all residents and inspire us to work collaboratively for the greater good. May our decisions reflect fairness, justice, inclusivity, and fostering a thriving and harmonious city. Bless this meeting with productivity, respect, and unity among all participants. May it be a stepping stone towards a brighter future for McAllen. We ask that you comfort and provide solace to the families of the crew members who recently passed in an aviation accident while serving their country in our community. Amen.
Amen. Well, we have one proclamation, International Grant Professionals Day. Commissioner Castillo.
Hello and good evening. Proclamation. State of Texas, County of Hidalgo, and City of McAllen. Whereas the City of McAllen's Grant Administration Department is composed of grant professionals who are responsible for securing millions of dollars each year to support programs and services in communities around the world. And whereas the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, program has existed since 1974 to provide local government with the resources to develop viable urban communities by providing decent, affordable housing and suitable living environment, and expanding economic opportunities, principally for persons of low and moderate income. And whereas the City of McAllen has received CDBG and home funds to assist with the revitalization of several city neighborhoods, the rehabilitation of construction of hundreds of homes, and public services and economic opportunities reaching thousands of residents. And whereas the City of McAllen has effectively administered and customized its grants administration and community development programs for over 50 years, and as a result has improved the conditions in our city, including the management of over $80 million in funding for community development programs through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and $385 million awarded through federal, state, and local funding. And whereas March 8th is recognized as International Grant Professionals Day, the City of McAllen's appreciation for the grant professionals. Now, therefore, I, Rodolfo Rudy Castillo, City Commissioner of the City of McAllen, Texas, by virtue of authority vested in me and on behalf of the Mayor and the City Commission, do hereby proclaim March 8th, 2024 as International Grant Professionals Day.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Julia Lash. I am the Director of the Grant Administration and Community Development Department. So every day, grant professionals work diligently, often behind the scenes, to seek grant opportunities, administer projects, and implement important programs that benefit many aspects of society, such as children, youth, elderly, the disadvantaged, the environment, the arts, education, libraries, etc. Federal, state, and local entities offer grants to enable game-changing individuals, teams, and organizations to implement their visions. The possibilities are endless. But the one element that is common among them all is the team of people who turn ideas into action. Grant professionals. Transforming an idea into an action with the help of a grant requires a special group of people. On this day, International Grant Professionals Day, I thank our professionals here with the City of McAllen for their commitment, their dedication, and their enduring patience. Your work helps make this city a better place. Thank you.
Okay. Public hearings.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. We have 3 items that are listed in your agenda today as routine items. The first one that we have on the agenda is a rezoning of property that's located at 100 East Pecan Boulevard. It's to rezone from C1 to R3T. The second rezoning that you have on routine is at 3612 State Highway 107 rear, and it's to rezone from C3 to C4. And you have a conditional use permit for life of the use and adoption of an ordinance for an automotive service and repair on a property that's located at, if I can just find it here, at 2613 Highway 83. And they all come with a recommendation of approval from the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Excellent. Do we have anybody to speak against any of the items? Anybody to speak against any of the items? No? What do I hear?
Make a motion to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item B.
Item B, there's a rezoning request. The property is located at 2216 El Rancho Avenue. It's the request to rezone from R1 to C3. It's on the north side of El Rancho Road, southeast of 23rd Street. The property has been zoned R1 since '79, and you do have R1 in the surrounding areas, with the exception of C3 to the west. And you've got single-family residences, primarily along El Rancho Avenue, and that's a trend. You do have commercial that's fronting on 23rd Street. The request for this same property was considered for rezoning in 2005 and again in 2009. In both instances, the request was denied, and a conditional use permit for parking purposes only was referenced by the City Commission at that time, both in '05 and in '09. In November 27th of '23, the City Commission disapproved the rezoning to C3 for a property on the south side of El Rancho Road, just south of this location. The applicant proposes to use the property for expansion of an existing auto repair business and car sales lot. It would require perhaps a conditional use permit for auto repair. The request does not conform with the land use designation for the envisioned McAllen, nor does it conform with the trend in the area. Staff has not received any calls in opposition. The request was considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission on February 20 of 2024. There was no opposition, and the applicant was not present. Following discussion, the board voted unanimously to disapprove the rezoning request with 5 members present and voting.
Anybody from the audience speak against the item? Anybody to speak for the item? No? What are the wishes of the commission?
There's this individual.
Planning and zoning
Wait,
has
someone to,
denied it, right?
I think he's trying to speak.
Oh, yeah, okay.
¿Les hablo de lo que vengo en español?
Sí.
Claro que sí.
Diga.
Yo soy el dueño de la petición que hice para hacerlo comercial mi terreno. A eso vengo. No sé si lo aceptaron o no lo aceptaron.
Estamos ahorita en discusión sobre eso, señor De hecho.
¿Todavía?
Si quiere usted dar su caso del por qué quiere que sea comercial.
Pues porque ya tengo el otro, son 2 solares los que tengo ahí. Entonces siempre hemos usado el lugar ese que no es comercial para guardar los carros. Y si acaso la petición no me la pudieron hacer comercial, pues de perdido que me den una oportunidad de seguir como estoy, como parqueadero nada más, si no se pudo hacer comercial.
And that's what they have right now? Okay, okay. Probablemente es lo que va a pasar,
Sí.
tocante el tema, porque el área es diferente, es residencial, pero quizás permiso para, pues pienso que es lo que va a hacer la comisión, para que siga estacionando ahí.
Ok.
Okay. So, ¿preguntas? Questions, comments?
No, I mean, I have a couple comments. I mean, I understand the decision to some extent was made in 2005, maintaining it residential to maintain the buffer, and it appears allowing cars to park in there was sort of an accommodation to some extent, but it said it had a CUP. When I look at that picture, that doesn't look anything to me that there's anything by a CUP or guidelines being taken care of. I'm sorry, the
But
grass.
the issue right now is just the zoning, correct? Correct, So,
What
okay.
is-
Entonces probablemente ahorita el tema se decide si se cambia el zoning, pero luego después es tocante el tema de si hay permiso para estacionarse.
Ok.
Okay?
That's right.
Mi problema ahorita es que tengo una cita con la jueza el miércoles de la ciudad, la jueza de aquí de la ciudad, que tengo una multa de no sé cuánto, que si me dijo que si no podía arreglar nada con ustedes, que tenía que ir a pagar el miércoles. Ya me dio prórroga de un mes a otro mes. Entonces ahora,
Sí. No, es algo que tiene que hablar con ella. Si necesita más tiempo, estoy seguro que allí, para que ponga su petición de la otra cosa.
hasta que no se solucione con ustedes.
Pienso yo que sí le da oportunidad.
Ok.
Disculpe, ¿cómo se llama, don?
Juan Ramón Alonso.
Juan Ramón Alonso. Ok.
Entonces, ¿qué hago? ¿Sigo esperando o...?
Probablemente irá, pues ahorita depende de qué va a hacer la comisión,
Sí.
pero pienso basado en el testimonio anterior y que no van a cambiar de zone.
Sí, ok.
Okay, entonces el otro paso es seguir a ir al conditional use.
Ok.
Okay.
¿Sigo sentado ahí o me
No,
voy?
ya acabamos,
Ya,
solamente
muy
si
bien.
tiene algo más.
No, es todo.
Muchísimas
Entonces, gracias a ustedes. Entonces el miércoles voy con la jueza y les digo lo que me dijeron ustedes, a ver si me da plazo o pago la multa o qué hago.
No, eso tiene que hablar con usted, pero pienso yo que sí le da plazo para que haga lo demás.
Ok.
Okay.
El otro plazo me lo van a confirmar con algún papel o nomás.
Habla con él le puede explicar los pasos.
We will reach out to him tomorrow and make sure we kind of go over the steps.
Excellent.
And explain the process and so on.
Okay, thank you so
I
much.
think it does need help.
Okay, anybody else on the matter? If not, what's the wishes of the commission?
I'll make a motion to disapprove.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Next item.
The next item is to rezone the property from C3L to C3 located at 4400 South Ware Road. It's a .71 acre tract of land on the west side of Ware, north of Idella. Property is C3L. There is C3 directly to the north. You do have some R1 to the south and east and some C3L to the west. The surrounding uses include vacant land. There's an existing auto repair and sales, food truck park, single-family, multifamily. The proposal is if the property is rezoned, the owner proposes to use the site for a food truck park, which will require a separate conditional use permit. The request does not conform with Envision McAllen's designation. However, the rezoning request aligns with the zoning and development trends along this portion of Ware Road. The item was considered January 24th at 2024 City PNC meeting. There was one person in opposition with the trash, noise, and traffic concerns. Following discussion, the board voted to approve the recommendation with 5 members present. This item was tabled at the City Commission meeting of February 26, 2024, to allow the staff to review a petition that was submitted. There was 68.83% in opposition to the request, so it does trigger a 3/4 of the entire board for approval. The applicant is here, and before you get into discussion, you would want to remove it from the table so that you can have discussion.
We have a motion to remove?
Motion to remove.
Okay, actually, anybody here to speak against the item?
Yes.
Did
we get a vote on the motion to remove from the table?
Yes. We didn't?
Yes,
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay, it's off the table. Anybody here to speak against the item? Yes, go ahead.
If you could come up to the front and just state your name for the record, please. You'll have 3 minutes unless the commission has questions for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I reside at 4300 South Ware Road. And in 2004, my husband and I selected the city of McAllen to build our home and raise our 4 children. Most of you have history with us. And my home is located adjacent north of the property proposing to be rezoned. I am very familiar and oriented. I'm very family oriented and found the need to find a source of business venture and raise my children at the same time. And back then, my children were age 7 and under. This is how we became the first home in the city of McAllen with a mixed use between residential and commercial. Zoning within the same structure, we became a C3 district back then. And we own a used vehicle lot now for 18 years. In 2005, I assisted to convert the 4,000 block to 4,500 block of Ware Road into a commercial area. It was from agricultural into commercial back then. And the property owners back then in the subject area commenced with wanting to develop, but they were becoming unconcurrent with the zoning in the area. They wanted industrial, others wanted R3 apartments. So there was a meeting called by all city departments and Mayor Montalvo, previous Mayor Montalvo, and in 2005. Among the residents, we wanted to zone in the same area. So in the meeting of 2005, the properties you see in the map, the west side of South Ware Road outlined in red, if you do have the map that was given to you previously, those were allowed to stay in a residential area since they were current residents. But the other tracts that were vacant and unimproved properties had to be reassigned a proper zoning. As a community, we came together and we decided to keep a C3L in the area, the light commercial. We had our homes there and we were raising our children's. So back then we decided to keep the C3L. There hasn't been development. This would give us the assurance that the area would be developed with limited traffic, noise, and disturbance, especially late hours in our residential area. In 2005, at the time of the meeting, I was the property owner of the acre tract adjacent west of the proposed rezoning property. Knowing that I would be raising my children and the quality of life I wanted for them, I had a choice of a C3 general commercial or having a C3L, the light commercial. We rejected the C3 and selected the C3L for the reasons mentioned previously. We were concerned about having a decent life for our children, low noise, the disturbance, late nights, and we kept it at a C3L. We kept property and sold until 2012. We are content with the decision selected by the property back then that we took for a C3L. It gave us a good quality of life. The community members and I humbly come to this commission with a signed petition that is in front of you. The petition has previously, in opposition of the rezoning of a C3 general commercial, there's 16 signatures that pertain to all, and I say all of the property residentials that are surrounding the subject area.
Ma'am, that's a little more than 3 minutes if we could ask you to wrap it up.
Thank you so much. Please consider our quality of life and the surrounding properties are C3L. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Sir?
If we could just get you to provide your name for the record,
Yes,
please.
hello, good afternoon. My name is Rafael Cantu. Good afternoon, Commissioners, Mayor. Thank you for your time. I'm going to be speaking in favor of this. I just wanted to address some of the things that Ms. Lopez just mentioned right in front of us. We've had this lot for over 18 years. It has always been clean, well-maintained, and within city ordinance. I don't know what makes Ms. Lopez think that now that we're trying to invest in it, we're going to overlook those aspects. It's well-planned. I don't know if you have in front of you, we were given to ILDA some letters with immediate neighbors to the south and to the east, where they're in compliance, that they agree to the business change, and they even wished us good luck. This is going to be very well planned. It's big investment, at least for us. So this minuscule things, it's not something that we're going to overlook. Noise complaints, trash, anything like that is going to be well developed. And myself being the one that lives the furthest, I live 8 minutes away from the lot. My father and then the other business owner, they live 3 minutes away in Benson Road and Sherry Road. So when I say they're going to be on top of it, they're going to be there present. It's not going to be an issue regarding noise, trash. It has never been for more than 16 years, and it's not going to start now that we have starting to want to invest in this venture.
Can we get the map back there? So you have the property, and then there's a commercial.
It's her business right to the north, and it's also a food truck park. And yes, sir.
You own that property to the north, ma'am? Correct. And it's also a food park?
It's family operated. It's my children's food truck.
Okay.
We do live on premises, so we're very conscious of the noise, the ruckus, or anything that would provoke the neighbors, because we do live on site.
Yeah, so I just, like you guys can tell, I just believe, with all due respect, this is a matter of competition, and I just don't find it fair to halt the growth of McAllen. This will be a community. We're doing this based on the community so they can have a place to go eat, to go get the children out of the house for a couple hours, go be there, have dinner. So I don't think they should be deprived of that because of a noise complaint.
Thanks, sir. Any questions, comments?
No.
Okay, anybody else? Thanks, sir.
Thank you for your time, sir.
I have a question real quick, Mijo.
Yes, sir.
So that lot, right, and in the back, you park semi-trucks
No, that is not our lot.
That's the lot to the north.
That's the lot to the
to the west.
west. Yes, that is not.
So that's not yours,
No,
it's
no,
just
no,
the
belongs to
front.
us, sir.
So that one has trucks, the other one has another business.
So to the north, there's her food truck park, and then behind us is, I believe it's owned by a trucking company, so they put their box trucks there.
And
Where is that zone?
C3.
C3L.
C3.
And to the
Well,
south?
the map shows it as C3.
To the south,
back?
to the south, there's a home
residential
property,
house.
and we have the signature, I believe, in your packet, as it was given to Hilda, where they approved,
Okay.
where they approve of the change.
Okay.
So
Thanks, sir.
all immediate neighbors. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Juan Hernandez. I am the property owner right south of that land that is proposed for rezoning. I had a long speech, but honestly, I don't know where he got signatures from. And I am opposed of having more business and ventures, things like that, especially because of the congestion of traffic, the noise level. I'm just adjacent of that. I see that all the time. We've had various accidents because traders park their vehicles there, creating a blind spot for cars exiting. We've had death from people that get run over. So I feel that there's a lot more involved than just setting up, just a food truck, right? There's also city ordinance. I feel that at a certain level, we've been deceived from the proposal because he's proposing kind of like a fruit area where they have tables and people sit and stuff like that. But there's a city ordinance that goes against that for any residential area, 150 feet of that, right? And so I feel that because he might get blocked, he's going to build something else, which then might affect us. So that's the reason that I would like to keep it at a light commercial, right? That there are limitations on the stuff they can do. And I feel that that goes more in accordance to what I would like to, expect, especially if I live right there.
Okay. Questions, comments? Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Came with favorable recommendation from staff or from P&Z?
It came with a favorable recommendation, yes, sir.
Okay, now the issue about that, even if it's mobile food trucks, that's at a later date.
CUP? That'd be a CUP.
And then you get into the issues of whether it has a distance and all that. So we don't have to address that right now. In other
Correct.
words.
Addressing the zoning right now. This does come with a petition, so a supermajority would be required to pass the application.
Okay, why is there a supermajority?
Opposition presented to planning a petition that was verified between last meeting and this meeting.
And obviously, a big portion of that opposition is the property just to the north, which is your property, correct? And to the east and south. Makes up a large portion of the petition.
Correct.
But to confirm, because I think I heard it asked once or twice, the property she owns directly to the north is C3, not C3L.
It is C3, yes, sir.
It is C3, right?
Mhm.
And we've never, from what my understanding, there's a food truck park that's operated there. We have not received complaints from that one in its operations.
No, it's been ongoing. It does have some limitations under the conditional use permit. Obviously, that's something that we would verify that it's in
What's the
compliance.
distance between that one, if there's only a lot, I don't know how big this lot, between that food truck establishment and the residence that this gentleman's talking about? Did
It would
meet the
basically be
requirements?
this particular property that's in question. So you'd have the food truck existing, the proposed location for the rezoning, and then the property to the south is the location that he was referring to.
Residential.
So, correct.
And I guess my question is, so there's sufficient distance between the food truck and the residence?
There would be, yes. Now, under the conditional use permit, he is right. If you do have a food truck, if you cannot have outdoor seating unless you're at least 150 feet from the residentially zoned property. So if he went that route, if the zoning was approved and the conditional use permit was approved, and he's within the 150 feet, then he could not have that outdoor seating. It would be basically take out, you pick up and go, or whatever. So there would be some limitations under the conditional use
Well,
permit.
that's at a later date.
That would be a separate item. Right now, it's just a question of rezoning.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? What are the wishes of the
Ms.
commission?
Lopez,
I'd make a motion to approve.
I think she has a question.
Oh, wow.
Do you have a question, ma'am?
That's, I
Certainly
understand
not.
that your property is a C3, meaning you could develop it in a much more expanded use as well. Or if you were to sell it to someone, they'd have the opportunity to do that as well.
We are raising our children there. We've been there for 20 years and no plans on selling. We have a 3-acre tract. We haven't developed into commercial, which we can, but we haven't because of the same reason. We're very conscious of our surroundings. We live on site and we're very concerned on the quality of life. 4 acres.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Next item.
The next item is for initial zoning of the property to AO. A property is located at 23,450 North Moorfield Road. It is to annex the property that's also related to item 1E that's on your agenda for later consideration. The property in the area is CTJ. It's in the extraterritorial jurisdiction. The applicant is asking for initial AO zoning, and in the future, once plans are resolved, they will come back and ask for a rezoning at that time. The requested zoning request does conform with Envision McAllen's. We have not received any complaints or calls in opposition, and at the February 20th, 2024 meeting, there was no opposition at the PNC meeting, and the board voted unanimously to recommend approval with 5 members present and voting.
Anybody here to speak against the item?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Next item.
The next item is for consideration of a conditional use permit and adoption of an ordinance for the property at 2121 South 10th Street. It's for a 1-year conditional use permit for a bar. It's at the northeast corner of 10th and Wichita Avenue. Property is zone C3, and the surrounding area is also C3 with the exception of AO to the south. The initial conditional use permit was approved in December of 2020 with a variance to the distance requirement, as the property was within 400 feet of a nearest residentially zoned property, publicly owned property, and school and church as applicable. They propose to continue operating the bar, Ojos Locos Sports Cantina, from the existing 6,450 square feet. Hours of operation remain the same from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Sunday through Wednesday, and 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Thursday through Saturday. Fire and Health Departments have inspected the site, and it's in compliance. They must meet requirements of Section 138, 118 of the zoning ordinance, and they do with the exception of the 400-foot distance requirement. Item was considered February 20, 2024 by the Planning and Zoning Commission. There was no opposition present. Following discussion, the board voted unanimously to disapprove the request, but with a favorable recommendation with 5 members present and voting. With 4 members present in the affirmative and 1 abstention. Following the meeting, we did receive 1 person in opposition to the conditional use permit, citing concerns with the atmosphere and the dress code at that venue.
Okay. Anybody here to speak against the item?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carries. Next item.
The next request is for a conditional use permit. It's at 2601 North Ware Road. It's for life of the use, and it's for a plan unit development. This also includes the adoption of an ordinance. The 17.438 acres is located on the west side of Ware Road, north of Warrior Drive. The property is zoned R1, and the adjacent zonings include R1, AO, R3A, and AO to the west. The property currently is vacant, and surrounding uses include single-family, fourplexes, a golf course, part of the village of the West Lakes, vacant land, as well as Nicky Road High School. The conditional use permit that's applicable today is for phase 2. The conditional use permit for phase 1 was approved by the City Commission at their meeting of February 26th of this year. Both phases total, the number of lots is 199. This phase 2 has 98 lots. They would be part of the plan unit development for single family. The applicant has indicated they're proposing and providing an 8-foot masonry wall along the north property line of both phase 1 and phase 2. The request must comply with subdivision requirements, including garage requirements, landscaping, sidewalks, subdivision plats included for both phases and recorded. They are asking for the following exceptions as part of the request today. Some of the lots will have less than 50 feet of frontage. The smallest lot is about 28 feet. Most of them are in the 30, 40-foot range, 45-foot range. There's 71 lots that will be at less than 50. 25 of the lots would also have less than 5,000 square feet, with those ranges from 48 to 4,900 square feet. Elevations of the building will be at 33 feet instead of the 25 feet that the ordinance references. 36 of the lots would have driveways that would be less than 18 feet in width, and they would be at 12 feet. That's been accepted and approved by the engineering department. Some of the lots may also not comply with the minimum 50-foot required landscaping in the front, and that depends on the driveways that each of the lots will be having. Front setbacks will be 20 feet instead of the 25 typically found in the R1 zone. The request was considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting at the February 20th, 2024 meeting. There was opposition present at the meeting, citing concerns with building heights as well as the buffers. The HOA president for the Village of the West Lakes was also present and spoke in favor of the conditional use permit. Following discussion, the board voted unanimously to recommend approval of the request with 5 members present and voting, and we have received several calls in opposition to the request.
Okay, anybody here to speak against the item? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor and members of the commission, my name is Chuck Vaz. I'm the president of the Village of West Lakes Homeowners Association. We're the property immediately to the north. We're not here in opposition. We're here because, as originally proposed, there was going to be a 6-foot cedar fence. I was hosted by Meldon and Hunt, and they were kind enough to tell us that there's now the proposal for the 8-foot masonry fence. We heard that at the Planning Commission. I just heard it now. We'd like to thank everybody for listening to our concern. We wanted an 8-foot masonry fence for flood control and privacy, and we'd like to say thank you to everybody for that. So we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? If not,
Move to approve.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
The next item, which is a request for conditional use permit at 4401 Pecan Boulevard. We did receive an email from the applicant asking that the item be tabled so they can be present at the next meeting for their case.
Certainly. Do I have a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. May I have a motion to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of McAllen?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Is that public hearing as we know, huh?
No.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item E.
This item is related to item 1B3, that was the initial zoning. Again, it's at 23415 North Moorfield Road. It's a voluntary annexation request that's being submitted by the property owner. They will come back in the future with plans and apply for a proper zoning at that time, once those plans are developed. Staff recommends approval of the adoption of the ordinance for annexing of the property.
So moved.
All in favor? Against? Motion carries. We have consent agenda, items A through,
J2. Mayor, I just have a comment on J1. We actually removed that from the agenda. It didn't transfer over to the posting.
okay, that's fine.
So that needs no action.
Item A through J2 minus J1. Do we need to pull out anything? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Against? Motion carries. Item 3.
3A is consideration of and approval of contract amendment number 1 with Half Associates for the McAllen Edinburgh lateral drainage.
Mayor and Commission, the item before you is as a result of the right-of-way constraints which initiated a change in the original proposed project alignment. The proposed channel infrastructure realignment requires a reevaluation of the system hydraulics and boundary survey along with new right-of-way extents. Staff recommends approval of contract amendment number 1 with Half Associates in the net amount of $40,978.20 for a revised contract amount of $582,868.20 and subject to a budget reclass, and we open it up
And
for
recommended by
questions.
staff.
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
B is awarded professional engineering services for FM 2220 Ware Road, pedestrian crossing.
Mayor and Commission, the proposed engineering scope of services for design development includes survey, preliminary engineering, PS&E, and the construction administration. The proposed pedestrian crossing is for a 25-foot wide underground concrete trail for pedestrians and bicycles to cross Ware Road, allowing safe connection between the Convention Center campus and the Nature Center, Westside Park, and the future Benson Road hike and bike trail. Below is a summary of the negotiated fees. A detailed scope of work and fee schedules are also included for your review. As a note, 80% of this construction cost will be funded through FHWA and administered by TxDOT's Transportation Alternative Set-Aside Program. Staff recommends approval of contract to RRP Consulting Engineers LLC for professional engineering services as stipulated in the attached proposal for lump sum fee of $496,669.45, and we open it up for any questions.
Questions?
Is the budgeted amount $1.2 million, but the engineering fees are $496? Is that accurate, or?
So right now, there may be an environmental that's required as part of this as well. We'll probably conduct that through a separate engineer. So there is a budget of 1.2, but this is just for the engineering services at this time.
Well, does the budgeted amount of 1.2 include, doesn't include construction costs,
No, sir.
right? Okay.
We
So
would,
it was
we would
just
come
budgeted
for, at the time we get this project ready, we would come for the 20% that would be required as a match
Okay,
from the transportation set-aside money from the grant.
got it. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
C is consideration and approval of contract amendment number 1 for additional services for the 33rd Street roadway improvements.
Again, this item, the
I am
requirement,
abstaining from this.
the requirements for additional engineering services arise from the introduction of a roundabout item presented to the Board of Commissioners at a previous workshop. Half Associates, Inc. is presently contracted for the 33rd Street roadway improvement project. The amendment for the contract scope encompasses landscape, schematic, architectural, civil, and electrical engineering design services, in addition to the construction administration. Staff recommends approval of the contract amendment number 1 to Half Associates for an additional professional services as stipulated in the attached proposal for a lump sum fee of $118,320 with 0 cents, and we open it up for any questions.
Questions? No questions? What are the wishes of the commission?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
Amount of $1,391,424.77 with a contract time not to exceed 360 calendar days. And we open it up for any questions.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries, and where's the soil gonna be shipped to?
There is a location where we're gonna be putting it. A developer has said that they would be willing to pick it up. If not, we're gonna leave it on that site there. If not, the contractor takes it off.
Okay, item E.
E is consideration approval, change order number 2 for McAllen South Industrial Park.
Change order number 1 consists of a request for an additional 26 calendar days to the project due to inclement weather. The change results in a revised contract amount of $206 calendar days. The engineer of record, Steve Sporer, engineering consultant, and staff recommend approval of change order number 2 with an additional 26 calendar days for a revised contract amount of 206 calendar days. And we open it up for any questions.
Any questions?
Isn't there already a buffer to allow y'all to unilaterally approve calendar days, or they all come to us?
All to you.
Calendar days? Approve. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
F is award of contract for construction management services for Quinta Mazatlan Center for Urban Ecology.
Mayor and Commission, this item is a follow-up to the workshop item presented to City Commission on February 12, 2024. Staff has identified the necessary scope of services and negotiated the fee schedule. Staff has identified the necessary scope of services and negotiated the fee schedule with the consultant. The proposed construction management services will supplement the current staff resources overseeing the construction of Quinta Mazatlan Center for Urban Ecology. The total fee for these services will not exceed $14,096 per month. The current project budget has sufficient funds to cover expenses through the end of the fiscal year. Services through the end of the project will be assessed and programmed into subsequent budget years. Staff recommends award of the contract to B2Z Engineering LLC for the construction management services in the amount not to exceed $14,096 per month, and we open it up for any questions.
I'm abstaining from this one also.
Any questions? Not, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I hear a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item J.
G is award of contract for the 2024 single machine repaving.
Every year, the city of McAllen continues its maintenance streets through this project. This year, the project will provide the work needed to recycle and repave approximately 207,180 square yards, or over 9.8 centerline miles of street, plus repair of base failures. A separate bid was advertised for the materials and purchase of delivery for the Type D hot mix for the 23-24 fiscal year. The total cost of the project, including those two projects that will be presented later, is $2,716,201.85. Staff recommends award of the contract to the lowest combined bidder, Cutler Repaving, Inc., from Lawrence, Kansas, in the base bid amount from item 101 to 108 in the respective total project cost of $1,534,011.85 with a contract time of 100 calendar days. And we open it up for any questions.
Questions? Hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
H is the Type D asphalt for the project you just approved.
Do I hear a motion to
So
approve?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item I.
I is consideration approval of an airline operating agreement with Delta Airlines.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission. Staff recommends approval of their airline operating agreement and terminal building lease with Delta Airlines at McAllen International Airport.
Any questions?
Let's approve.
I tried to read the agreement.
That's why I said, any questions?
Very good.
There's a motion and a second.
There being a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's very much.
Good job,
Let's go to Austin. 4A is providing a budget amendment for Quinta Mazatlan.
Good evening, Mayor and City Commission. The Convention Facilities Department is seeking approval of an ordinance providing for a budget amendment to increase expenditures for emergency repairs at Quinta Mazatlan. The total repairs are $104,411 to allow for the purchase of HVAC compressors as well as the main entrance gate replacement. Staff recommends approval of air conditioning repairs and entrance gate replacement at Quinta for the total of $104,411 to fully fund the project.
Any questions?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
5A is a resolution considering approval for suspending the effective date of AEP's proposed rate increase.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Item 6.
6A is consideration of a variance request to not require the subdivision process at 6201 Wells Springs Road.
Okay, this is a .516 acre tract of land on Wells Springs Road, 6201. Its request is to not require the subdivision process for the property that's zoned R1. There's an existing residence on the property, and the proposal is to remove the existing residence and construct a new residence on the particular property. The split of this tract was done by meets and bounds without the process of subdividing the property first. The basis for the request is the time that it would take to do the subdivision process, and also the fact that there's an existing residence at this location. Staff has reviewed the request, and they've indicated that it needs to comply with the McAllen public utility requirements as applicable. There is an existing 8-inch water line that runs on Wells Springs Road with an existing hydrant. Also, an access easement is needed on the south side of this property, which will provide access to an unsubdivided landlocked property to the west. Similar request has been granted on the property located at the southwest corner of Lark Avenue and Wells Springs Road. That was approved by the commission, subject to dedications of right-of-way, contractual agreements, hold harmless agreements, as well as compliance with McAllen Public Utilities. Staff recommends disapproval of the request and require the subdivision process as required under Local Government Code Section 212, and also the subdivision ordinance of the city, which requires a plat be filed with the county. However, if the variance is granted, it should be subject to option number 2, which requires the right-of-way dedication, contractual agreement, hold harmless agreement, access easement as needed, and compliance with different department requirements that are involved with the development process.
Questions? Questions, comments? What are the wishes of the commission?
I make a motion to approve.
With
Option number 2?
option
As
2.
long as they confirm to PUB and
Okay. Would you be option number 2?
option number 2.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
I think they wanted to speak.
Oh, is that
It's
the
not
item?
it's not I just remind the commission, this is not a public hearing item. So,
No, is this the one they had signed up to speak?
no, that was during the public hearing.
Oh, okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Well, he
Against?
wants an explanation on option
Okay.
2.
Yeah.
Motion carries. Managers, advisory board appointments.
Mayor and Commission, this item is for advisory board appointments. Mayor Villalobos, you have 4 members that are eligible for reappointment. That's Alex Lamela to CDBG, Francisco Mesa to BBOA, Jose Peña to the Convention Center Advisory Board, and Juan Mujica to ZBOA. They're all eligible for
I'll get you
reappointment.
2 tomorrow.
Okay, and then you've got 2 vacant seats on Ambulance Committee, Disability Board, and 1 member that termed out on Traffic Commission. Just a reminder, they continue serving until their successor is replaced. Commissioner Aguirre, you have 8 members that are eligible for reappointment. Barry Patel at the Airport Board, Jeffrey Schmitz, Airport also.
I have
Joe-
a vacancy on the next one.
Right. Joe Khalifa is eligible for reappointment. He has been absent, but it's due to illnesses.
But it's because of illness, right?
Yes. Yeah, his has been
But
because
right
of
now, I'm
illnesses.
going to leave him on.
Okay. And Holly Johnson to the Convention Center, Maria Carmen Pacheco to KMB, And Brad Benter to McAllen Housing Finance Corporation. Nicole Aguirre, Traffic Commission. Not sure.
I can't fire her.
Do you want
She's
to
fine.
make those three appointments?
Yes, all of them I've contacted, and I still haven't a vacancy for the ambulance.
For the ambulance, okay.
That's it, but I'm fine with mine.
Good. Commissioner Quintanilla, you've got 6 members that are eligible for reappointment. Armando Salinas to the advisory, to the Airport Advisory Board. Ricardo Ramirez has resigned, so we've got that vacancy. You've got Eric Luebanos that's eligible for reappointment. Crystal Mesa, Library Board has resigned. Library Director Kate Haran sent me a recommendation. Dr. Nathaniel de la Cruz.
Yeah, I'd like to appoint him.
Okay. And Johnny Arguelles is eligible to the McAllen Housing Finance Corporation. Hiram Gutierrez is eligible for Senior Citizens Advisory Board. And Jaime Enriquez also eligible for reappointment to Traffic Board.
I'll reappoint them. All of them, yeah.
Commissioner Castillo, you've got 4 members also eligible for reappointment. Alejandro Aguirre is eligible but has not met the attendance requirements. The other 3 are eligible and have met the requirements. Regina Richardson to Convention Center is eligible. And David Casares has resigned, so that's the vacancy that you have. And Jameson Merrickson is eligible for reappointment, if you wish to reappoint them.
I'll tell you tomorrow.
And Commissioner Haddad, Heriberto Hinojosa has termed out, so you have a vacancy there. And on Disability Board, and you also have a vacancy on the Library Board due to resignation. Same thing on Parks. So Juan Mojica is eligible, but that's an appointment by the entire commission. If the entire commission's okay, we can reappoint him. And Commissioner Cabeza de Vaca.
Got him.
You've got 12
All
that
of
are
them.
eligible.
14.
Okay,
14
yes, and
reappointments.
including Juan Mojica. Do you want to reappoint them?
Huh?
Do you want to?
I'm speaking to them, so.
Okay, we'll bring
For,
those
for
back.
sure, next session, I'll have them.
Okay, we'll bring those back.
Okay. Was there some nominations there? I lost track. Okay. I heard-
Well, Commissioner Pepe had 1 nomination.
Okay.
Jared Ledbetter to the golf course.
Yes.
Okay, do I hear a motion to approve nominations?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. We'll get the rest. Everything going well?
Yes, sir. Immigrant drop-off numbers from CBP and ICE continue to drop a little bit. 2 weeks ago, we had 1,150 for an average of 164 per day. And this past week, we had 1,029 for an average of 147 per day. So that's been a gradual decrease over the past 6 weeks. We do expect those numbers to increase just based on historical trend. Out at Anzal Duas Park, we have a population right now between 150 and 200. And we have a capacity for 750, which we can increase rapidly if necessary. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
I've been getting, well, actually not just getting, but on Facebook, all that type of stuff about issues in downtown McAllen by Catholic Charities. Is it getting a little hectic there, or it's just?
I know that the Downtown Services Department responds to those when we get specific requests or concerns or issues. We'll make sure that we send staff out there. God bless you. But we'll continue to keep an eye on that, Mayor, just to see.
Have we
Nothing out of the unusual
Yeah,
that we've
mainly,
seen. but-
mainly about parking probably? Is that what you're hearing?
They've been sending pictures of buses and.
Right, so we've had issues with commercial owners there right around the corner from the respite center. Mario met with them last week. We think we made enough movement to help the situation, but we'll keep monitoring it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Any questions?
No, yeah, we need to do something because I'm around the corner and no puedo ni pasar. There are 4 buses on Friday. That's a lot. That's good.
Okay, we'll look at that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Future agenda items. If not, we'll recess into executive session.
Bless you.
It'll be pretty quick. I think we have 2 items.
Yep. I like this.
Okay, we're back from executive session. Council, what do we have?
Mayor, with respect to item 8A, I recommend the City Commission consider a motion authorizing the city manager and city attorney to proceed as described in executive session.
There a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Mayor, with respect to item 8B, I recommend the City Commission consider a motion authorizing city manager and city attorney to proceed as described in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
Mayor, with respect to item 8C1, I recommend the City Commission consider a motion authorizing city manager and city attorney to negotiate the economic development incentives described in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
And with respect to item 8C2, I recommend likewise, City Commission consider a motion authorizing city manager and city attorney to negotiate the economic development incentives described in executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. And there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned.
Regular City Commission meetings are held on the second and fourth Monday of each month. Meetings are rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays on the McAllen Cable Network.